The hard truth is people will leave you. So how do you prepare?
Curious what business owners are doing to double revenue, have more cash flow, work less hours, and provide a better lifestyle for their family? Dive into the world of business growth that leads to guaranteed wealth. Your hosts, Dr. Laura Shwaluk and Jerry Kezhaya. Grow and get answers to your business and investment questions that provide clarity, move you forward, and inspire you to reach your goals. Welcome to this edition of the Business Builders Intensive. My name is Dr. Laura Shwaluk, and my co-host is none other than Mr. Jerry Kezhaya.
Hey.
We have a special guest with us today. Janak Mehta is joining us. He is an expert in the marketing field. And before we get too much into that, Janak, would you please just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Dr. Laura, Jerry, nice to see you. I'm excited for this one. So where can I start? I guess I will start with my journey to this country, right? So just a quick background for the listeners. Based on my accent, you probably figured out that I'm from India, right? I grew up in India, and I came here to do my master's at Carnegie Mellon in computer science, electrical engineering, and business school. And then after that, I had started working at a Bell Communication Research Lab as a research scientist. And then from there, Ford Motor Company. While at Ford, both my wife and I, we decided to start a business together. The timing was right for the real estate investment business, and we had early success. And to grow that business even further, both my wife and I decided that we should learn marketing. And we started learning marketing from our mentor, Dan Kennedy. And we became pretty good at that very quickly. We started Real Estate Investment Club. We started information marketing, coaching program, consulting, mastermind for other real estate investors. And we grew that business fairly quickly. So we just fell in love with marketing. And then when we used to have those monthly meetings for our RIA clubs, we used to have the national speaker come in to our RIA meetings, third Thursday of the month. They would come in and they would look at the room full of 2, 3, 400 people, and they were always pleasantly surprised by our capabilities to be able to fill the entire room, right? And then that really they started asking us question, how are you doing this? And then we used to just joke around and say, we market, right? But then I started listening into, their questioning because I was like, maybe there's an opportunity here because those speakers could not do this for their own business. So they started asking us, hey, can you do this for us? And I was like, first we were saying no, and then it's like, wait a second, yes, we can. And then and then we figured out, okay, how do we deliver that? And that's when we started our marketing agency back in 2007. So obviously 2007, all the platforms we see now, they were either not existent or completely in the beginning phase.
Yeah.
Facebook just launched to the public in 2006. So it's, we are talking about the wild, wild west in 2007. So what we focused on was organic marketing, SEO, search engine optimization, website design development. And our goal was to help them get on the top of the Google so that they get more leads and more sales, essentially. And then we started adding paid advertising. Facebook started allowing paid advertising back in 2010. We're among the first 10,000 businesses who launched, ad campaigns on Facebook. And then by 2014, we were providing so many different services to so many different people, so many different type of businesses. And I read a book called Built to Sell. And the book talked about how to productize your service-based company. That means, out of everything you do, you focus on one thing. And then we double down on paid ads. And within that, we double down on Facebook as a platform of choice. And that really paid off for us, right? So throughout this journey of, us figuring out marketing, and then us figuring out, oh, there's a demand for people who, businesses who need marketing. And then from there, us figuring out our own evolution of starting with providing organic services to then adding a lot more services to then focusing on only one. So that's been the journey we have had. And since we have gone completely focus on to one thing. It's been, 2014 was a year. That's when we decided. And 2015 to 2018, we were just focusing on Facebook and Instagram ads as a service. And then we started adding more channels, whether it's Google or YouTube or TikTok or Pinterest or, Twitter, essentially all the channels. And then from there, we started adding back, okay, now we can help you build your customer journey or the funnel or the email marketing or the SMS marketing. And then in last 1.5 years, we also added sales team building for our clients as well. So now we provide advertising, marketing, and sales for our clients who are typically what we call experts in e-commerce brand owners who wants to scale faster. So that's been the journey so far. A little bit about us since we
Fantastic.
began. Yeah.
And so what would you say is one of the most surprising struggles that you had, or one of the, oh crap, uh, kind of moments? Because we, as entrepreneurs, we all have them. And, we can't just sweep it under the carpet. In fact, being able to share those things with other entrepreneurs is why people listen to this podcast, because
And
we've all been,
there's usually a lot of oh crap moments too.
yeah. So can you tell us, please, one of yours?
Yeah, I was just when you asked the question, I was like, just one, okay, let me hone into that one. Early on, I started talking about how we have built our agency, right? So early on, back in 2007, when we started, it was just my wife and I had literally no one working for us. And then after a year or so, we realized that our business would be capped at what kind of output we can provide, right? What kind of output we can generate. So it will be just based on, amount of time we have, and then how efficiently we are using the time.
Yeah.
So there was no leverage there, right? So I said, okay, we need to find someone who can actually do this for us. So at least one more person. So then we found a VA. She just happens to be, we used to live in Michigan back then, and she happens to be from Pennsylvania and eastern side of Pennsylvania. And she really was a quick learner. She literally captured our entire process, and then she started doing it, and she started doing it better than us. So we felt so good, and I was like, okay, now it's the time to scale. So we started doing more and more JV partnership, running our own campaigns, obviously, and then we started getting more clients. And she was doing it all, and then literally 1.5 years into, she was working for us for 1.5 years, and then one fine day, she's stopped responding to our emails or phone calls, and I was like, okay,
Oh,
something must be going on, right?
yeah.
And and so I frantically call her, and then she finally responded to one of the calls and the message. She said, "Hey, listen, my grandmother has a severe health condition. She's hospitalized. I won't be able to." Be able to work. And I was like, what? How is that even possible? Like, what would we do without you, right? So that was the biggest, I guess, moment for us, because we were thinking that, oh, finally we have a person. Now we can keep growing, and then we'll just have to add more and more people, right? We did not have any other team members. That was mistake number one. And what we did not have was our own standard operating procedure. So we had no clue how she was doing all the steps, because we were so far removed from the process, and we had no clue how is she doing it, what kind of automation she has created, like all of that we were completely ignorant, right? um, and we did not pay attention to that, because I was focusing on sales, my wife was focusing on accounting and finance and operations. And yeah, so anyways, so that was a big,
What a recipe for disaster.
it was. So, but as an entrepreneur, when we thrown into a challenge, what we do is we rise up to the challenge, right? That's exactly what we did. Fortunately, we did not have any kids, so nothing to worry about. We could have sleepless nights. So we essentially sort of built it back up in terms of the operations, right? So obviously we had client flow, but then we still had to fulfill on that. And so, we both rolled up our sleeves and we started working on it. But that was a pivotal moment for us to make a decision that how we are going to build our company moving forward. Because at that point in time, we decided that we are not going to let just one person handle everything, right?
Yeah.
We are not going to have a situation where if somebody moves on, or all of a sudden cannot work, or what if they get into an accident, right? Or worse, they die.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, right? Like, so we are going to build something more scalable and more long term, where everybody knows their own processes. So the focus was on the process. Now, we are not coming from the process background, so we were sort of struggling with that. We had some documents, but there was no really cohesive, like A to Z process we have built. So we actually hired back in 2014. Excuse me. So back in 2014, we hired a consultant, and we literally paid her, I believe it was $10,000. It was a lot of money back then for us. And she literally interviewed me for more than 2 months, and she literally took everything out of my head and turned it into a step by step, I think it was 27, 28 page first SOP. That was my very first standard operating procedure, where now I felt comfortable that, okay, there's this living, breathing document which anyone can go through it and anyone can implement step by step if they are, using some of the brain cells they have, right? So it's easy to follow, easy to implement. We had tools, we had processes, and that's when I started hiring. That's when I started seeing, looking for, okay, now let's start buying our time back from by hiring more people. So that was the first time we hired our very first media buyer. That's back in 2014. So almost 10 years ago now. And he's now director of media buy. He's been with us for the last 10 years. And then also he's now just, he's been responsible for making sure that that SOP continuously gets upgraded and updated, right? And he's now training all the team members, and so on and so forth. So that was the biggest pivotal moment for us. Obviously, we have had few of those cases in terms of employees either moving on or getting poached. Our employees getting poached by other agencies. So yeah. But that was the biggest pivotal moment for us. Yeah.
Good for
So
you.
there's two things I'd like to just touch base as
And before
that
we do,
thing.
though, before I forget, Janak, what's the best way for people to reach you if they want marketing, if they would like to reach out to you regarding their marketing? What's
So
the
so the best way would be to go to scalepaidads.com,
perfect?
SCALEPAIDADS.com, scalepaidads.com. That's the best way to, reach out to me. You can reach out to me on social media as well. Anywhere you type Janak, my first name, Janak, last name Mehta, Mehta. So on Facebook, Instagram, yes, you can message me on those platforms as well.
Perfect. Thank you. Sorry for interrupting, Jerry. Go ahead.
Thank you. So as a mentor, right? So first a coach tells you what to do, a mentor will tell you what not to do. Very important distinction, right? But as a business coach and a business mentor, I want to address something that potentially could have happened to you. Not only did your first employee create miracles and do all these wonderful things for you, and then left, right? And you had no freaking clue what they were doing. Another possibility, and this is why I applaud you for not having any one person do everything on their own, because usually what happens at that point is you teach people to become your competition.
Right.
When they learn every aspect of the business, what will happen is they go, well, he's made enough money. I'm going to go into the same business. And you taught them how to be your competition, and they'll take your clients with them.
Yeah.
So
that could have very well happened. Fortunately, that did not happen. One of the things I always believed in was when you are taking care of your team members, you want to take care of them as if that they're gonna live forever. Not they're gonna live, they're gonna stay with you forever, right? But also prepare for when they leave you, what to do when they leave you, right?
Yep.
And expect that they're going to leave you, right? So, but when you are working with them, treat them like they are the most irreplaceable. They are, because that allows them to feel safe, secure, excited. Create a compensation structure in such a way that, they will keep growing up, right? Like, for example, our media buying team, we have a compensation structure where we actually share bonuses based on the performance. And it's very black and white for us. For example, if a media buyer grows a campaign from, let's say, $10,000 a month to 30,000 or 50,000, we get 10% performance bonus from the client, and then they also get portion of that as their bonus, right? So every single day when they come to the work, they know that there is a potential to make more money. There is a potential to create more impact, and that
Sure.
shows up in the compensation structure as well. Yeah. Uh,
Well,
we also have one more thing, if I may share, though. We also have uh, every Friday they get massages. We have pool table in our offices. We take them out for once a month. We do like a pizza party. Every quarter we do a company retreat as well. So all expense paid. Our senior managers, they get if they're performing at the highest level, they also get their apartment paid for, in terms of the rental money as well. So there are so many incentives we have created that there is, if you are smart, you probably won't want to leave, right? But you're more than welcome to leave, right? That has
it sounds
happened
like
in one of the was
sounds
that?
like a recruiting ad.
Yeah.
I work for Janak.
Yeah, work with Janak. Yeah, no,
Go work
absolutely.
with Janik. You know,
But all of this did not happen year one. Like we discovered this, we figured things out. We also have a process where it's a 90-day trial period, right? Because my team is in Macedonia and because it's a Eastern European country, once you employ someone, it's very difficult to get rid of them, right? So we have to make sure that it's the right fit from day one. So what we do is we don't give them the actual employment contract until the 90 days. And 90-day period is, we call it internship. It's paid. It's not free. It's paid, but they're not getting the actual employment contract until after 90 days. And this 90-day process is first month, they're going through all our processes, all our systems, all our internal training. Month two, they get paired with the junior media buyer. So they now see, okay, how things work, what's the daily task looks like day to day. And then month two, they're paid up, they're working together with the senior media buyer and they start doing some of the tasks. And then at the end of 90 days, essentially, we do what we call exit interview. And, we both figure out whether, they are a good fit for the company and they like the company on the flip side as well. Like it has to be win-win, right? So we've created all of that, for them to feel comfortable. And so far, touch wood, other than one employee being poached and one we had to let them go because of he had girlfriend issues and it was kept coming up and it was affecting his performance, and he wouldn't change, so we just had to let him go. Other than those two, so far, touch wood, it's been amazing journey because of this. Now we have a very recent example. I'll tell you this. Our senior media buyer, she is now pregnant, right? So
uh-oh.
first when yeah, exactly. That
Uh-oh.
was my first thought. Uh-oh. Because again, because of who she is, she's been with us for last 6.5 years now. And she is like what I would call my star A plus 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 player. Like no matter when you ask any single question to her, whether it's 11 o'clock at night or it's like 7 o'clock in the morning, she would have answers. She would know exactly what campaign, what we are working, what's going on. Like she has all the knowledge in her head. Now, fortunately, we have the processes where that knowledge base is extracted, but she's like my Google essentially, right? And we have all gotten accustomed to Christina being there, so we can just ask her, right? So fortunately, we now have 3 months before she has to go on a maternity leave. By the way, in Europe, maternity leave is like 9 months. Okay, so she'll be off work 9 months. We already have two more senior media buyers internally. They are almost ready to take her position, and then we also have hired external help as well. So we are prepared this time around, but the first time when this happened back in 2008, 2009, I was definitely not prepared for this employee leaving us.
As one of your early mentors, Dan Kennedy says, eventually, even your best racehorse goes lame.
Exactly.
Right. So
And
your best girl is going out after 6.5 years. She's taking a break, brother.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Dan Kennedy always talked about this, that number one is a bad thing, like one big client or one campaign or
One
one big
platform.
employee, one platform, right? Like
Yep.
anything of one is a bad number, right?
The
So
worst number in business is one.
one, exactly, exactly. Yep.
Janak, what would you say are the biggest benefits to having your SOPs? I mean, what would you say is like, wow, having my SOPs helped me do XYZ? What would those be?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, SOP allows us to have a very streamlined process of execution, right? So uniformly, each and every client will experience the same thing, right? We have a uniform onboarding process, uniform process to launch a campaign. We will launch checklist. We also have, how to optimize those campaigns, right? How to optimize funnels. Like everything is uniform. So the way we think about this is very process oriented way. Now, we have taken this into another level where let me share with you a process we follow. Right? There are multiple processes, but this one is very intriguing and very exciting. Whenever I share this with my entrepreneurial friends, it's like, oh wow, this is great. So hopefully this would be of value. So anytime, so we have obviously our step-by-step process, right? Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, right? Now, at any given time, if there is exception to that process or exception to the flow, right? If something which is supposed to work, it did not work for whatever the reasons are, right? So, you know how I used to work at Ford Motor Companies and, I was not responsible for the manufacturing, but I was in their headquarters in the Ford credit department. Anyways, but, we were exposed to the manufacturing philosophy, right? So anytime there's an issue on the line, what do? You ring a bell, right? And then line stops, right? And then you assess what the problem is, right? And then once the problem is assessed, then you fix it and the line continues, right? So very similarly, what we do is if there is a problem or issue, whether it's client initiated or initiated by one of the team members, what happens is we ask this three questions. Is this a process issue? That means that the process is identified, process was not followed, is this a personal issue? Is a personnel? That means that, okay, is this the person sitting in the right seat at the right time, right? Or something deeper. Maybe this person has something going on a, from our experience with that dude, right? On a personal life, maybe, like for example, just recently this week, both my directors, one of them, his mother is going through a spine surgery, and another one, his grandfather has fallen for the fifth time, and he's going through, this hospital and rehab and everything. So they are still occupied, right? So if there's an issue or exception happens because they are not on it 100%, then we can actually figure out, okay, this is not the person's fault, necessarily. This is the reason why, right? Or this is a tool, like the tool we are using is all of a sudden no longer, is right for this solution. So anytime there's exception happens, we ask these three questions: the process, is it the person, or the tool? We call it PPT, right? And then identify the solution to the problem. If it's a process, obviously, did we not consider this possibility? Okay, let's add this exception flow and then improve the process. Is this a personnel issue? Do we have to train them? Do we have to put them in a different seat? Or do we just have to give them grace or time, right? That the personal shit is going on. Sorry for the words, but personal issues going on. And and or if the tool we are using, all of the tool no longer works. Maybe the tool has some limitations, which we are now pushing towards that limitations. We have to either get a new level in the same tool or new tool. And that has really eliminated, and then all the people in our team thinks this way. So that has really eliminated how to like the problem solving happens at the lowest level, right? And then everybody's thinking, okay, what is the issue? And let's figure it out, right? And then that really reduces friction, that really has improved the happiness of the clients, and that really has, uh, for me, the ultimate thing is the quality and the results, right, for the client and how long the clients are staying. Because if
Fantastic.
the internal team is not efficient, it will reflect on the client relationship as well. So for us, it's like client retention, longevity is very important, right? So yeah, that has worked out very, very well.
And you mentioned in the beginning that you said in the beginning of your marketing career, you did a lot of organic things and then you went into paid advertising. And what we're seeing is a lot of people are going back into organic again and paid. And what do you suggest that people do? Because everything is always changing. The algorithms are changing. Different platforms are available. What are you currently doing?
Perfect. That's a great question, by the way. And you rightfully pointed when everything started, all the platforms allowing and actually getting more excited about people posting on a regular basis, organic reach or organic posting was getting all the reach. So let me actually explain how the platform has, whether it's Google or Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, or it doesn't matter what the platform is, right? All the platform, whether it's closed loop platform or the open loop, right? That means that, like Google, people come in and they look for the things they're looking for and then they move on, right? Or people have Facebook account, they log into the Facebook account and then they go through on their Facebook every single minute, or Instagram for that matter, or TikTok for that matter, doesn't matter. They log into those app any single extra minute they have, whether they are pooping or whether they're watching TV or whether they are, in the sports arena, like doesn't matter. Or if they're waiting in the traffic. So every single moment they are spending time on those platforms, right? So it's a closed loop or closed network rather, where it's the same app, same platform, they log in, right? Now, if you go back to the beginning of those platforms, what were they looking for? So they built this platform so that more people will use it. And then their number one goal was the user, increasing the user base, right? So what they did was they essentially enticed people to come to the platform, log in on a every single day, and then post content, right? And they were actually allowing businesses to post content through, for example, Facebook started allowing businesses to create Facebook pages, right? So you as a business can create a page, post the content, reach more people, and then get more customers, right? So everything was, nice, good. Uh, even if you just post organically, the organic reach was higher. But then Facebook realized that now we have billion customers. Okay, we need to make some money, right? So then they started controlling how how much you can reach organically, and the organic reach literally gone down to the tank. That was back in 2013-14 time period, and that's when, again, paid advertising started back in 2010, but not everybody was running paid ads on Facebook, and that's when, if you look at the Facebook's growth, right, in terms of the revenue, that was a pivotal point, and so from the organic, they kind of constrained the organic to push paid. So now it became, pay to play model, right? So everybody, you have to pay, otherwise your reach would be literally zero, right? 3 to 5%. So that's why the paid advertising was huge. It was huge from, I would say, uh, 2012 to, like, I would say 2018, 19 even, right? And then Facebook's case, Cambridge Analytica happened, and then FTC, they were going after, hey, you guys are leveraging customer data, and then you are essentially selling that data, right, without their control. By the way, Facebook has always given every user a complete control, but most of the users are not going to bother and set up their privacy. You don't need to see any ads on Facebook, by the way. You can control that, right? But most of the users are not going to do that, and they just don't know. So government came after that throughout the world, right? So then platform like Apple. So Apple changed their iOS, after 13.5 change back in 2021, somewhere between March and April. That really changed the entire game of paid, where all of a sudden paid was going well, and then now we could not get the data of who clicked, how they clicked, or sorry, who converted, how they converted. So the conversion data was missing because Apple said, listen, you have to, every user who's using, whether it's Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, they have to explicitly say yes to passing the data on. So Apple started keeping the data, right? Constraining the data. So then, all the platforms started sputtering. At the same time, another trend is short form videos and short form content, right? Whether it's TikTok or Instagram Reels or Facebook Reels, that started coming back up because now those platforms wanted to get what? Another, addiction from people where they would either watch those videos and then for that, they had a lot of, they need a lot of content creators, right? So the organic started coming back up. So we're at this stage in 2024, when we're recording this, it's I believe that again, you should not just focus on paid or organic. You need to do both. You need to have a combination of both. Now, depending on what is your sweet spot is, where you are in your business cycle, sometimes you start with paid first and then focus on organic, and or you can flip the switch and then start with organic and focus on paid, right? There is no right or wrong answers in my experience. It really depends on the budget, how fast, where you are in your cycle, how much cash do you have available, and what is your marketplace looks like, right? So when you combine that, both strategies do work. And in fact, I would venture and say that if you don't focus on organic, you are going to be in a bigger challenge. For example, I believe that podcast as a platform, right? Podcast as a strategy to be sorry, as a host, right? You guys obviously have credibility and building more and more by inviting different type of guests and different caliber of guests, right? And then B is the guests who are expert on particular thing, and they are going on multiple different podcasts. So that's podcast as a platform, podcast as a tool, podcast as a medium is going to be huge. So my invitation to everyone is 2025, focus on organic social media, organic SEO, obviously paid channels, all the channels, SEM, social ads, and then also also be on the shows, podcast shows. Create your own shows or be on a podcast show like this. Amazing
Excellent.
podcast show like this.
And,
Yeah.
and so there's no way that small businesses can do this on their own. So they really need to call you. And again, the best way to reach you is
Scalepaid.ads.com.
perfect. Scalepaidads.com.
And now I have a question for our listeners. And my question for you is this: do you have systems in place such that if your key people, including you, die, get disabled, have to leave for some reason, do you have your systems put in place and documented well enough so that you could hire another person and have them up and running quickly? If you don't, then please reach out to us. I'm Dr. Laura Shwaluk and Jerry
I'm
Kezhaya.
Jerry Kezhaya.
Yeah. Were you going to say something, Jerry?
I have to.
Yes.
You absolutely know I have to talk. For me to be on a podcast that talks about SOPs and not talk about SOPs, I'm about to explode over here. Janak, I love you, but my God, you did that all on one breath. How did you do that? You're amazing.
I'm Indian. I speak fast.
Oh my God, I love this guy. So here's the deal. In a number of years ago, I had a right-hand woman. Her name was Linda, and Linda worked for me for almost 9 years. And Linda was literally my right arm. Whenever I would leave the business, she took command. She took control. She was my comptroller. She was like my assistant general manager. She was my sister, my work wife. I don't know. She was my everything. And one Sunday afternoon at 4:30, I got a phone call that said Linda has been involved in an accident. I got another phone call about 8:30 that night that said Linda passed. And I'm going to tell you without exaggeration, I had never in my life up to that moment even started a QuickBooks Pro program. I had never freaking fired up her computer.
Your accounting software.
My accounting software. I had no idea. And I asked my wife, Laura, I said, I need your help. We need to go to the office early in the morning. And we got to the shop at 6 a.m. on Monday morning. And we were both like, our eyes were this freaking big because we were in uncharted territory. Okay. And I will tell you, we fired up the computer and we pulled out our systems manual, our standard operating procedures manual. That was for the accounting. That was for the bookkeeping. That was for payroll. And I said, listen, if we don't do anything else, we have to, at the time we had we had over 50 employees. And I said, I don't care what happens to anything else right now. I must pay my people. I as a business owner, right, the show must go on. Regardless of what catastrophe, no matter what calamity, no matter what, the customers don't give a rip. And the show must go on. And your employees, no matter how long they've been with you, nobody works for free. And when it comes to employees and their money, the last thing you ever want to do is even have it look like you're playing games with their money. So for me, my priority was to make sure the show goes on and pay my people. And Laura and I went into the office, and she sent me on a mission. I think it was one of those missions like when the wife is having the baby and they tell the husband, go boil water. Right? Because it's like, get me the hell out of the office. Go do something. And she said, go find the missing checks. I looked at her. I was almost frantic. And I said, the hell do you mean missing checks? Why are missing checks? So Linda would take a stack of 15 or 20 checks out of the safe room, and she would put them near her desk somewhere. So she didn't have to get up every time she had to do a check. Right? I mean, it was convenience and easy for her. And so Laura sent me on the mission of finding the checks. And I will tell you, Laura was not all that familiar with QuickBooks at the time. She did payroll for 50 people, had it figured out in less than 20 minutes because we followed the step-by-step processes that we had documented in our SOP manuals, right? 20 minutes. She had payroll done for 50 people because we had followed our advice ourselves of creating SOPs on every position in the company, including the bookkeeping and accounting and Linda's job. And I will tell you, all these many years later, I still haven't found those freaking missing checks. But we had payroll done, right? Like, well, you're laughing. Tell them the truth. Have we found them?
I have no idea where they are. I have
no idea.
I've let it go.
I've let it go. Right?
Yeah.
But we paid our people. We paid our people on time. We paid the IRS. We paid the 941 form. We paid everything without missing one single minute. And I want to stress upon people the importance of having proper documented SOPs, especially in the middle of a catastrophe, such as losing one of your key players. And Janak, you're going to do this. You'll be missing one of your key players in the next few months due to a maternity leave, and hopefully they'll return, right? But nonetheless, I know you have cross our fingers.
Crossing my fingers for sure. And I told her that you need to come back. If you need to bring your baby, we'll figure out a way to have your baby, daycare at the office. But you need to come back.
Beautiful. And I know that you have everything documented with SOPs because that's just who you are and how you are. And we're really happy that you joined us today on this podcast.
Thank you very much. No, this was fun.
Yeah.
So I'm Dr. Laura Shwaluk. Jerry Kezhaya is my co-host. And today was joining us Janak Mehta of Clients Online. And once again, my question to you, our listeners, is do you have your SOPs? You don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars to get that done. It's so important that you do get it done. If you want some tips and tricks on how to do that and make it easy, quick, and even fun, reach out to us. BBMMUSA.com. What was that, Jerry?
We'll be happy to help. And there's the website right there.
BBMMUSA.com. I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for being here.
Grow and get answers to your business and investment questions that provide clarity, move you forward, and inspire you to reach your goals. Share the show and connect with us at BBMMUSA.com to submit questions and learn more. That's BBMMUSA.com.